turn around. You say a human male who protects his kids. Protects is the word I'm talking about. That's bullying. You're not protecting anyone.
Protection is bullying.
Well, yeah.
What I'm saying is that gender can be fluid and it does not affect other people. It does not affect other people's lives.
I literally just showed you an example where it affects other people. Women who don't want to share those spaces. Now you're saying that those women's spaces should be defined by their biological sex at birth. Yes or no?
I don't know. What I'm saying.
So it literally affects other people. You're really nice. But the cult got you.
The cult. You think people being told they can have a certain gender or a certain sexuality is a cult?
People thinking you can pretend to be something you're not and the whole world's going to go along with it, including the people, yes, it affects, is a cult. And you, like, I feel for you because you're stuck in the cult. Avi Mini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia, where today we have found a Canadian hanging out on the street. Billboard Chris, what the heck are you doing at Flinders Street?
I'm having conversations in this magnificent city of Melbourne with a lot of supportive people and then some very heavily indoctrinated people who think it's kind to try to change the sex of children.
Do you mind if we stick around and see what happens?
Let's do it, man.
Older people like you guys, you can't grasp the idea.
Excuse me, I'm quite young.
All right, buddy.
I identify as 19.
See, this is the argument that people keep pulling. It's not about that.
Why
If
is
people
that
want
not
to
a
be
legitimate argument, though? Why can't I identify as a black person, but I can identify as a woman?
What? See, this is what I mean. Why is it harmful that people want to, like, identify as another gender? How does that harm you?
How does it harm you that I want to identify as 19?
It doesn't harm me.
Okay, so then why don't you accept it?
I didn't say I didn't accept it.
Do you accept that I'm 19?
If you want to say that, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't affect me.
So will you take back your statement where you said that I was an old man?
What?
I think that when you're young, you have a better understanding of who you are because you're not really influenced by other things going on around you. Like when you get older, I think that you're more influenced by...
You're telling me little kids that watch TikTok all day are not influenced by what's going on around them?
I think that little kids probably have... Well, it depends what age, right?
Are you an adult human male?
If I go dig and I'm male.
When I was younger, I actually identified more masculine. And if I could go back and I wasn't raised the way that I was, I actually probably would have wanted to change that about me.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
You won't wish you'd done it when you were younger. What's stopping you from doing it now?
Oh, I've got a lot of other things going on right now. It's not the biggest thing going on in my life right now.
Gender is sort of like a socially constructed thing that is being deconstructed at the moment.
So if a boy likes to play with dolls, does that give him a female gender?
No, not at all.
So what gives him a female gender?
If he feels like he wants to be a woman.
What does it mean to be a woman?
It means that you identify as a woman. It means what? If a man wants to identify as a woman, he's allowed to. That's what I mean. Gender, like.
So what's a woman then?
It's someone who feels like they want to be a woman.
But a woman is not just a feeling.
Why does it need to have a cookie cutter definition?
Because if we're going to be sterilizing kids, we should be able to define what this term even means. Nobody can.
Do you realise that that kind of thinking makes you what some people would call you a radical? Are you a radical?
I don't think so.
You mentioned how but then they want to have a family and they can't. First of all, not everyone wants to have a family, and there's other ways to have families. There's, surrogates, there's adoption, all that kind of stuff. It's not about whether they can physically have a child on their own. That doesn't account for all families.
What you're doing right now is trying to justify the sterilization of children.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you a question about...
Sure you are. You're downplaying it. You're saying it's not such a big deal.
Where are you from originally?
Maluku Island.
Do they have this problem in Maluku Island where people are confused about it? No? Why not?
Because we got, our own culture. I think people in West society is too much brainwashed with all these things, It's all about money.
Who do you think's making the money with this?
Whoever make the, all those implant surgery.
Do you feel at 19 you're ever going to want kids?
I don't know, it's something that I think about, but it's not something I'm wanting to make a decision on.
Yeah.
And imagine you were 10. Can you make that decision then? You can't even make it at 19.
I think I didn't give permission to film me. I don't want to be filmed.
Public street, you don't need your permission. Cool.
You literally walked up to him and took a photo without his
Yeah, I'm
permission.
not being put on fucking TV though, you know?
Are you worried you're going to come off looking stupid?
No, it's not something I want to debate.
That was just very typical of the level of intelligence. Oh, he's back. It's very natural for people who didn't want to have kids to want to have them later. But now we're putting this adult decision on a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old when they're starting on these drugs. They can't possibly consent to that sort of decision. That's why my sign says children cannot consent to puberty blockers. They can't understand the ramifications of what they're signing up for.
Don't you find it funny that you said you don't want to be on film, you walked up, you took a photo without his consent, and then you complained about being filmed without consent, and then you just won't leave us alone?
Being interviewed and photographed, you know?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Okay, so you didn't have to answer. It's just being photographed without consent is the same
I
thing.
don't want to be interviewed.
And you're still here.
It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your life. If they want to do that, they should be able to do that.
The epidemic of child abuse sweeping the Western world is everyone's business. If I saw a child getting beat over there, I would intervene.
Would you not?
I would, but people wanting to be transgender is not people getting beaten up.
Adults cutting off their anatomy, that is probably worse than a child getting beaten up. He will recover from that.
If someone wants to cut off their anatomy because it makes them feel better in their own skin, they should be able to do that.
At 10 years old?
If your child says, I would like to use they, them pronouns.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not
that
gonna
says a lot.
encourage a
That
delusion.
really says enough. I'm so sorry, but that says
we're
so
gonna go
much
now.
about
It's
who
just very
you
harmful.
are
We're gonna leave.
and how and what you're doing and the harm that you're causing. That's it.
Do you know the easiest way to get the microphone out of your face
You
is?
to remove it. Yeah.
Actually, you like 1, 2, 3. Out of my range.
Very smart.
God bless you, brother. Do you mind? We want to take a photo. Unless you want to take the photo, you're pretty good at doing it. This time, though, we'll give you consent to do it.
The fact that there is no set definition means people are allowed to be who they want to be. It does not affect you if I wake up tomorrow morning and say I want to identify as a man. Why does that affect you?
What does it, I really am truly trying to understand, what does that mean? And what you're telling me is it means nothing. Then identifying as a tiger, or me identifying as 19, or this guy, oh no, he's black, so this guy identifying like he's black. How is that any different than you making up a gender that you admit means nothing?
There are physical attributes of people that we have, and that does define us physically, but there is so much more to people. They're not just defined by who they are physically.
So we could say people, so let's put the pretend world aside for a second. Do you agree that there is only male and female
In terms of sex?
in sex?
Yes.
And so can we go back to the days? Like, do you think that, for example, women's spaces, women who want to feel like that they can have their own safe space for people of their sex, for example, going to the toilet, that they know that it's only a place for women by sex, not the pretend gender thing, whatever you're calling it?
You're digressing the point here.
No, I'm not. It is precisely the point, because you're trying to separate the two, but they're not separated because you don't actually believe they're separated. Because when it comes to women-only spaces, you want biological women to accept your gender pretend fantasy as real fact in that situation when it affects them, and it isn't real.
Well, first of all, we don't need to talk about bathrooms here. I've used unisex bathrooms. I feel comfortable in them. It's
Good for
fine.
you, but do you believe that? Do you understand that there are plenty of women around the world that don't feel safe sharing a room, sharing a bathroom with a biological, what did you call it, sex male?
If we're talking about bathrooms, then maybe there's some strict sort of rule there has to be there. But this isn't about bathrooms. This is about people.
This is really no, that's really transphobic.
No, it's not. I'm trying.
Thank you.
If we're gonna
I can't believe you said that.
We're gonna talk about.
As a
people being
19-year-old male, I find it super transphobic that you're saying.
Legitimately, the trans community would say that is extremely transphobic.
So funny.
Why is it funny?
Just because I'm like, why do you care that much? Just let people be people.
No, when you're talking about children cannot consent to puberty blockers, what's funny about that?
they can consent to puberty blockers. Children aren't being given puberty blockers, and puberty blockers have no irreversible effects. So, like, what's the deal, yo?
Sorry, what did you say? They're not?
They don't have irreversible effects. It's so fine.
Do you agree with the sign?
Yes.
You agree?
Definitely, mate.
Why can't kids consent to, for example, going to a pub and having a drink? Why can't they drive cars? Why can't they do so many things that we only allow them in Australia at the age of 18 to begin? Why?
That's a totally different issue.
No, it isn't, but
driving a car, a child driving a car could end up killing someone else. A child drinking alcohol could fuck up their brain.
What about puberty blockers? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with that statement?
No,
Why not?
because
Why are you still wearing a mask? It's understandable, the delusional, the people that are still scared of COVID are also scared of basic biological facts. Science is not their strong point. So let's pretend for a second, because we like to play pretend. Let's pretend that's not true.
Oh, but it is.
But-
It
but-
is.
but-
Oh, let's play pretend that like the sky is purple. Yeah, but like it's true. So like
Is the sky purple?
no, and puberty blockers.
Can men be women?
No, but men can't be women. But trans men are women. Trans men are men. It's how it works.
I just think, like, if your child was like, let's say they come to you and they're going, I've been bullied at school for being however I want to be, and they could be like suicidal about that. Don't laugh. Why are you
so
disrespectful?
I literally
Dad
just
would
had this
do that.
conversation 2 minutes ago. Because every single conversation I have on this lie about suicides come out.
No, it's not a lie.
It's
There are
so
so many
predictable.
kids.
It's every
There are
single
so
time.
many
How many?
kids that are bullied because they don't feel like they can be what they want to be.
How many kids are dying because they're being told that?
There are so many kids dying because there are parents that don't actually, they
How
can't
many?
even just give them, understand, give them a hug and say,
How
it's
many?
okay, I appreciate you for who you are.
How many kids?
That is bullying.
How many kids?
If they can't even go up to their own,
All
their own
I'll tell you how many
parents.
kids. I'll tell you how many kids.
What are you standing here and doing? What are you trying to say?
So would you like to hear the actual statistics about suicides?
I don't want to hear it because
All
I've
right.
lived that experience, mate. See, you don't understand. You can sit there and you can preach whatever you freaking want, but you don't have that experience.
But like what you're saying is gender ideology like shouldn't be taught in schools. Why can't people be taught that they're allowed to be who they want to be?
They can be who they want to be. This is teaching the opposite. We're telling them they can be something they're not. Do you think we should sterilize autistic kids?
I don't want to
Do you think we should sterilize kids who grow up to be gay? Because that's what's happening.
I am autistic.
Okay.
Okay? I don't want to
Do you
have
think
the
you should have been
conversation.
sterilized when you were 12 years old?
Awful. I don't
Do you
know-
think
I
you
don't
should have been
know
sterilized
why
when you were
I'm
12 years old?
doing this.
I'm doing this because I'm spreading truth.
Truth.
That our children are beautiful just as they are. And they shouldn't be told that they're supposed to be something they're not.
They're beautiful the way that they want to be.
That you want
And if
them to
someone
be.
changes
No.
that
They're
or
We
not
don't
that.
encourage delusion.
Then
if someone punishes
That's
them for
bullying.
trying to be the way they are, that is what is unfair.
So you said maybe 85 or 95% of them are well-intentioned.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the men identifying as females or as women have a sexual fetish called autogynephilia. She's laughing.
Why are you laughing?
Because
You know that not to be true?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. No, I want to hear it. I want to hear what he has to say.
It's a fetish called autogynephilia. It literally means attracted to oneself as a woman. And they get off on the idea of being a woman. And they love going into these women's space because it's a sexual arousal thing for them.
Can I make a point as the only woman here? If someone feels comfortable or feels like aroused by being a woman and they want to be in the same space, if they want to be in the same room or the same bathroom, I'm fine with that. That's their self thing. They are aroused by themselves. That does not affect me. That does not
Okay,
affect me.
but that's good. You don't mind aroused men around you in
it's not
private
meant-
space.
okay,
No,
like,
but
it's not
that's
a man,
fine. But
it's just
how can you expect every woman to feel that way?
I've got a point here. I've got a point here.
yeah, no, I
One,
wanna hear it.
where have you got that from? Like where have you actually got that from?
You can go read the research on this.
No, because right now
Read the
I went.
research by Ray Blanchard. He's a sexologist from the University of Toronto. Ray Blanchard.
Right.
Yeah. Just go Google autogynephilia.
You see, I've got better things to do than that. Honestly, for the argument's sake, to give you a rebuttal, if you think as a 12-year-old to you're 17, so you had 5 years of being like, this is my gender, this is my gender, this is what I am. I think when you hit 17, you should be able to do it.
What's gender?
Gender. See, you're probably going to get me here because For the majority of people, in my eyes, I don't care. Like, I actually don't care. I care when it comes to toilets and like real world things. But if you said to me, I'm a woman, I'd call you a woman because I actually don't care. But then equally, if you try going to a toilet where my mum or sister are, I'll give you a slap. Like.
So you do care?
It depends what you're using the gender to access for. If you're using
That's
the gender
very transphobic, what you just said. How can a girl be a boy?
We're not answering that.
You're talking about concepts that have not progressed.
You're telling me that by letting a girl identify as a boy, you're saying we're helping them to be who they are. Yet you can't tell me what it means for a girl to be a boy.
Let them
What's
identify.
actually going on there?
It means for someone to be the person they are.
It's so much
The
more
person
broad
that they
than
actually are
But
inside.
there's such a thing as reality.
There's a thing as genetic, but that's one aspect of a person. That is one tiny aspect of a person, not the complete
it's
picture.
so broad. It's so
Not
broad,
their
and
experience.
we couldn't even speak
all.
on it because
So
there
is
is.
being a
Don't
woman
even
a
worry about
feeling,
it. Don't
for
worry about
example?
it. Don't talk.
Okay.
Don't talk. Okay.
Why can't he talk?
There is so much because I'm leaving, but there is so much more than what you're putting in one fucking box.
We're not going to settle the argument here of bathrooms and stuff. That's not. We are clearly.
We did
not the
already.
people- No, we didn't. We're not the
We
people
did.
to sort. We're not the people.
He's
to
going to
sort
bash
that.
any
Wait,
man
no,
that
no,
tries
no,
to go
no,
into
no,
a
no.
woman's bathroom.
Hold on. That's his specific opinion. I'm saying the.
Aren't you gonna help him?
Can you let me finish my
Transphobes are
point?
so violent, aren't they?
Let me finish my point. Can I hold it? What I'm saying is we're not
got
going to
balance.
solve that. There's
It's been a pleasure.
other people to sort that out.
Oh, well,
But-
that's a good
but-
one. There we go.
I think he was well in his right to do that. But what I'm going to say
Very
is
tolerant.
find something better to do with your time than trying to like tell people they shouldn't identify how they want. Like it's
Stopping
just.
the greatest child abuse scandal in the
It's not.
modern
It's just
medicine
not
history is
child
pretty
abuse.
good thing
But
to do with my
I
time.
can't. I clearly can't.
I don't
change
wanna
my
You already
Still
told me
mind.
you don't know about all the scientific stuff going on with kids, so how can you say it's not child abuse if you don't even know what's going on?
Because I have a fucking brain. I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Nice to meet you.
All right.
If you think these conversations with Billboard Chris here on the streets of Melbourne are important, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share them far and wide to help educate your family and friends. And then, guys, I know I keep telling you about it because I'm so excited. buildourstudio.com. Head there. Help us in our exciting project to bring you much more content. All the details there. buildourstudio.com. We cannot do it without you.